guys, welcome back to my channel. First off, I want to say thanks to everyone who watched my last video. I really appreciate your support, even though you guys knew I was nervous about this and all the good stuff, but I'm glad I got the first video over. I also wanted to clear up my hot messness from my last video, so I'm just going to recap the four main things that was very important for my previous video. Okay, so on to today's topic. This is going to be the first installment, the first true installment, and it's going to be called the workout plan. Why? Because we need to figure out our exercise and diet plans and balance those out so that we maximize our opportunity to reach our hair goals. Yes. So, part one of installment one, the workout plan, will be about products and building a hair regimen. There you go. Hair regimen. So before you go out and buy a whole bunch of products and stuff, pause and let me give you a few rules before you do that, okay? Okay. Rule number one. Don't be a product junkie. It's really important not to be a product junkie because you're just wasting money, time, and then it's just taking up space and you don't really need that many products. My rule to help you go through products is the 3-month rule. If you haven't used a product in 3 months, then toss it, or get your girls together and then whatever products they haven't used, you guys can switch around. If maybe something worked for you and it didn't work for them and you've run out and they don't need it, you guys can like do a switch or something like that. So you can call that a junkie party or something. But yeah, or the only exception to that 3-month rule is if it's a seasonal product. And what I mean by seasonal is that, for example, you might use a lighter moisturizer in the summertime because it's so hot, but then use a thicker or heavier moisturizer in the wintertime because it's so cold out. So that's a seasonal product. That's the only exception. Rule number 2, you don't have to stick to one brand, because a lot of the times a whole brand won't work for you, like a whole line won't work for you. So you can mix and match. That's what I've been sort of doing a little bit. And I like that because not everything in a whole line will work for you. So don't be open to other lines and stuff. Which comes to rule number 3. Try new products, but when you find the one, don't cheat. Because if you keep trying new products, then you're just going to be trying new products and you're not going to give your hair what it needs. Because if you try product number 3 and it works great for your hair, and then you go on to 5 and 6, you can actually do damage to your hair if it's not giving you the support that shampoo number 3 was giving you. So, and your hair needs consistency. So rule number 4, use what works for you. So there are a lot of people on YouTube claiming this product works, and it might work for them, but it may not necessarily work for you. So remember that not all products work for everyone equally and stuff like that, okay? Rule number 5, expensive products don't necessarily mean better quality or better results. Hair care shouldn't be that expensive. And rule number 6, don't limit yourself to black people product, because a lot of the time black people products are just crap. Like, there may not be any good stuff in it at all, and then you're just swindled into buying it because there's a black girl on the label of the product and she's like, and that's just not how your hair turns out when you use it. So yes, don't limit yourself to that. There are a lot of good white people products out there. Like I tried the Dove Nourishing shampoo for dry damaged hair, and I liked how my hair felt, but the only reason why I won't go back to it is because like when you wash your hair, sometimes soap gets into your eye, and yes, of course it burns. Like, you know, you never had soap in your eye before, but it burned. But the Dove one really burnt. Like my eyes went red, like it was harsh. So that's the only reason why I won't go back to that. But other than that, I found this shampoo to be great. So don't limit yourself to black people products. Okay, so those are my rules for that. And now we're gonna go on to the actual products. So yes, overall you only need from, I believe it's 6 to 10 items, but I'll go through them. First things first, you need 1 to 2 shampoos. And I say 1 to 2 shampoos because most any girl will just need 1. But for example, if you work out a lot, you'll have more buildup in your hair because you'll be sweating and stuff like that. So you might want to get a clarifying shampoo, which will strip your hair of the extra stuff, and then a moisturizing shampoo, which will try to put the moisture back in your shampoo. Or again, it might be seasonal type of thing, and you want to wash your hair every 1 to 2 weeks, again depending on the amount of buildup you have in your hair. For most girls, every 2 weeks should be enough, but again, if you're athletic or if you swim a lot, especially in the summertime you swim a lot, you want to do that every week because swimming, there's a lot of chlorine, and if you swim at beaches, there's a lot of crap in the ocean, so you need to get that out of your hair. And if you're working out, you're sweating and stuff, so you want to get that out. You'll need 2 to 3 conditioners, and I say 2 to 3 because there are protein and moisturizing conditioners, and I'll go through the whole protein and moisturizing or even just the conditioners overall. I'll do another segment on conditioners alone, so I can go into more detail than that. But also you need a leave-in conditioner, so you can have 2 to 3, at least 2, a conditioner and then a leave-in conditioner. So yes, and you want to deep condition every time you wash your hair for at least 30 minutes with heat if you can, and then always follow up with the leave-in when you rinse out the deep condition. And then you're going to need 1 moisturizer and 1 sealant. And for a moisturizer, you want a water-based moisturizer. So what that means is the first ingredient on that list should be water. Not petroleum, not mineral oil, water. That should be the first ingredient. You need a sealant. A sealant is an oil that will lock the moisturizer into your hair, because oils, most oils don't really penetrate the hair shaft. I mean, it does, but not completely, which is what the moisturizer does. The moisturizer penetrates the entire hair shaft, and then you want to seal in that moisture with the oil. And there's a whole bunch of different oils on there. Again, I'm going to do a segment on each topic, so I'm not really going into detail about each product or each type of product that you need, but yeah. So yeah, you want to moisturize first and then seal. I recommend going every other night instead of every night, because you have to control the buildup in your hair. If you have more buildup, you have to wash your hair more frequently, and you have to remember that washing your hair is a process too, because you have to detangle and all the stuff, and you're making more hair fall out and blah blah blah. So I recommend doing every other night or as needed, because maybe you won't need to moisturize it much. You might have to do every 3 days or something like that. So yeah, so moisturize and seal every other night or as needed. And then you'll also need a satin scarf, bonnet, or pillowcase. I have this thing, my satin scarf. I don't know if it's satin actually. This is just a duku. Yes, for people who don't know, we Ghanaians, we say duku for any sort of hair dress or head dress. So if you ever hear me call this a duku, then yes, that's what I'm referring to. It's kind of dirty. I need to wash this. But I don't know if it's cotton or satin, but this is what I've been using for years. I tried buying a satin one, but it kept feeling like it was slipping off. And it was a triangle piece, it wasn't a long piece. So I didn't like that. So I went back to this. Remember, if you're using a scarf or a bonnet, to wash it like every 3 months, because there will be some grease